Hi everybody, it's Louie again. I'm just gonna show you a little job I did today. I wanted to kind of beautify the upper control arm, so I made this template here, and then I transformed it into a garnish cover that attaches to the top. So here's a finished product of the I don't know what you call it, the rear garnish suspension cover for the front. What would that be? The driver's side. And then I made a template and laid it on some aluminum, and this is kind of the initial shape. A little bit of rolling with the English wheel, and once I get it so that it's a mirror image of this one, then I'll sand it down, smooth it out, bead roll it around the edge of it like this, and then I'll trim it and polish it, and then that side will be done. A lot easier making a second piece than designing the first piece. It'll give it some flair. So anyways, I got a front piece I have to make, and then I'm going to mount the parking light on it, or the driving light on it. So we'll go over to the other side and I'll show you kind of what I'm going to do there. I still think I might end up taking my my step drill and doing a little bit of this stuff on the back of that, maybe kind of like around the top edge there, or maybe inside that little dip right there. Not exactly sure, still thinking about it. But yeah, let's move over to the front side. This is the back side. So we're in front of the front wheel, and the wheel's cocked sideways, and I got this piece of plastic here for a template, and I think I'm going to make like a cover for the CV shaft, and it'll kind of, I might even put some of those dragon scales on the front of this. Might make it look kind of give it some cooling fins for the brake, so to speak. Let some airflow in there. And of course I need something to mount the light to. So I'm going to take this piece now, and I'm going to lay it on some aluminum, cut it out, put a bead roll on it, and mount the light on it, and make some curves on it so it's got a little integrity and it doesn't flap, and then that will fit in there in that hole. So there's my frame for the driving lights, and I was going to put it right there in the center, right there on the control arm. So that should be just fine. I like it. So I gave this piece a little shape, and that's going to go in front of the CV shaft at the front. So now I'm just going to sand it down and get it smooth with the vibrator after I knock off all the high spots with the spinner, and then I'm going to bead roll the edge of it and polish it. So that's about where it's going to sit. And I'll put some fasteners. See, get my finger in here. Oh, there it is. Put some fasteners along this edge here. Couple fasteners, and then there'd be like a little bracket underneath that holds that that area there from flapping. And I'll keep it steady. And I'll join it on the same thing. I'll do the back panel behind this area here will be joined onto a little bracket that'll hold it. What's up? What's up? To miss your girlfriend? Yeah. Do you want to go in the house? Want Daddy to let you in the house? Okay, let's go in the house. So I'm going to mount that light. Like right about there. And the light has got the wires coming out right in the center. And I have to make it low enough that I avoid the control arm from the back side. So that's about center right there. I have to drill a hole right in the middle. Stick that right there for now. And I got one of these little rubber doohickeys. Just wondering if this is going to do the job. Because this here's got a little bit of an indent in the back. And I don't want the wires to chafe. So I want to use one of these things. Feed it through. And then see like it looks like it's going to protrude a little bit. When I tighten it in, it's going to get really squashy. So I'm going to have to dimple this around the hole so that fits in. So I'm going to dimple it. So I'm going to dimple it with this. I'm going to use this old bearing off my car. I'm going to screw it onto the block and then lay the piece over top. And then I'm going to whack it with a socket with a 5-pound and put a dimple in it. So it countersinks that scenario. There we go. Now I'm just going to do a test run and see how it works, because I don't know if it's going to work properly or not. So there we go. So I'm going to drill a hole in this piece. I'll set that right there.
My back's just, it's way better now, but I still feel it on the one side.
Right.
Like
You're just spasming, man.
I pulled all the muscles down this side of my spine.
Yeah. You're spasming. Because you're a spaz. No.
Spaz, too.
Now, where's the 5-pound hammer? What happens when I dip it back? It's not bad. Could use a little shot here on this side.
I'm charging my battery overnight on 2 amps. Just gave it like quick charges and then fucking killed it again.
There. So it's not too bad. So now I can put this through here and stick that rubber in the hole, and that'll give enough clearance so that that rubber won't be pushing this up, and this can fit flush, and the frame will cover the light and the frame will cover the dimple. So that looks like that'll work, so we'll try that. This is much thinner material than this, so it should dimple a little easier. Yeah, you were sanding with it over here when you were doing the classic.
Oh yeah,
Okay, so that's pretty good. Now I gotta dimple it back now. It's not bad. A little bit more. Not too shabby. Okay, let's see if I can just tap this flat now. So it's not quite the way I want it, but I think that if I put it on a flat surface, it may dimple back. So I need to hit it on a flat surface. So I'm going to hit it on the wood here. Better. And it's because it's a rounded surface, that's why. The test model is flat, and this is slightly rounded. So there we go, there's our dimple. And now I'm going to polish it up. It's kind of scratched up a bit, so we'll polish her up. That looks pretty good. I think that'll be fine. I want to put that little rubber in there. See if I can't get that through the hole. I need to take that. Here's that deburring tool. So we'll deburr this hole. have no sharp edges. And this will pop right in there with a little bit of spit. There we go. No chafing of the wires. Now I need to put the light on. And put the frame around it and drill mark holes. Okay, that looks pretty good. So I'm gonna mark holes. There you go. Okay, so I'm going to wire this up now. I'm going to do black on black. Okay, that's that one. Put this on top of there like that. And then I'll wire this one together. Yeah, freaking skidders in here. I'll have the door open and the skidders come in. Okay, that's that. I'll put that heat shrink over top.
The skitties.
And then we'll slide this piece of heat shrink over top of everything, all the way to there. And torch this. So that's the waterproof lighting for the driving light. There's this wire right here. I'm going to put some more heat shrink over top of it. And then this here will be for the side cornering light. Okay, so now I'm going to run these wires up through here. So I'll just lay that down right there. And this is the one, these are the wires that I need to attach to. white plastic. You know, that big thick white plastic. That would work. That would work good. Yeah, sure, I'll have a beer. So there we go. That's how that looks. Now I'm going to put this plug onto the end of this wire. Heat shrink it and solder it. I'm going to run a wire. I'll have a cornering or a running light. We got that piece made, and these fasteners right here, I'm gonna put walnuts on the bottom piece, on this piece, and then I'm gonna put stainless steel fasteners in there to hold that, and then there'll be like a guard that goes from here up to the front one. So now I'm in the process of making a front one now. Here's the piece, 1/16 of an inch thick, and I'm going to make another piece that looks like that right there, and then mount the light on it. So I got to bead roll the edge and make it look pretty with some polishing. So we're back over to the English wheel on this last front piece. We're getting a bit of shape on it. It's kind of bowing a little bit this way and a little bit that way. If you keep your tracks nice and close, you get a nice even stretch, and you kind of go in a zigzag pattern. And like I say in the past, this is like putting your penny on the railway track and letting it flatten out over the curve of the top of the railway track. And when you look at the penny after it runs over it, it's kind of oblong. It's because it's stretched in the middle, and it makes it give it that egg shape. So it's looking pretty good. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to shrink the edge a little bit, and it'll really enhance the bowling of this. So I'm going to take this over to the shrinker and give her a little shrink around the edges. So I'm just going to go in all the way. Give her a gentle little stomp. It's pretty thick aluminum, so it kind of takes a lot to push a thicker piece of material together, because basically what this thing does is it gathers the metal by pushing it together. Now it looks like we're getting a nice curve. It puts these little dents in it though, but I can always wheel those out, hammer them out, sand some of them out. Okay, Yeah, that looks pretty good. Now, there's some nice shape there. I like that. I think that's good. I'm just going to smooth this out now. And then I got to roll this top a little bit so that it tucks up underneath the upper garnish molding, and it kind of curves under a little bit, so I'll have to curve this a little bit. I think I'll use the brake to do that a little bit. So here's my brake. My son did some painting here. So I want to do a little brake job on this. So maybe what I should do is get the marker or something similar just to do a line. Here's a drill. Just going to score a little line on here. Just as kind of a reference. So I know how far I'm putting this thing into the jaws of this doohickey. That did nothing. Nothing. I have to really clamp down on this. Give her a good bend. There, she stayed that time. Right now I got a bend. Not really a nice one. I think I'm going to just hit that with a hammer. Just give her just a gentle little roll there. From the shrinker. My light will mount right there, and I'll smooth that out a bit. It's got some nice shape to it. And I'll smooth that out now with the sander. Go over it with some with the flap wheel and some 120, and then I'll go over it with 240 and then 600 wet, and then I'll polish it.